Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be assessing the best Minecraft 1.8 PvP YouTubers. And I'm really excited for this one, so let's get right into it. Alright, so to start it off, I just want to put some things out there. This is only for 1.8 PvP, so people who are really good at like 1.9 and up, I'm not really going to be counting that. And also, it's completely my opinion. So if you disagree, that's fine. Leave it in the comments below. I'll respond to it. We'll talk about it. And if you prove a good point, then I might just change the rankings. All right, so let's go. I'm going to be ranking in three categories. The first one is movement. This is how like they strafe, like S tapping, W tapping, block hitting, things like that. Also, maybe bridging can be into this. So yeah, movement's really important, and that's out of 10 points. The next one is brain, which is like their game sense, how quickly they adapt to new games, just how well they know a certain game, how they think. And then combat, just like flat terrain, PvP, how people would do against each other. And that's out of 15 points. Because I think in the end of the day, that's probably the most important. So starting out with the big boys, these are the big YouTubers with a lot of subs. Tommy Innit, I gave him a 19.5. It's pretty good, pretty solid. He's pretty underrated, I'd say. Uh, Dream, I gave pretty high score of 27. I think he got pretty good at PvP. He's only an 8 in the combat because obviously he's not like a 1.8 PvPer, but he got pretty good for the Technoblade fight. And then also he has insane movement. Like he's really good at parkour. And then Brain, he's pretty smart. He gets a 9 for that. Technoblade, this is going to be controversial. I gave him a 32. He's insane. His movement is really good. 13 on combat because he's very good at combat, but he's not the best. And then Brain, he is very, very smart. His game sense is impeccable, and that's what kind of makes him one of the best. And Filza, I give him a 20, a little bit better than Tommy. George, 20.5, he's good, good movement. Not as good at Dream and anything, so just like much worse than him. Sapnap, a little bit worse than George. Wilbur is pretty good, above average, I'd say. Not great though. Just kind of small brain sometimes. Bad Boy Halo is honestly not that good. Pete is a very good player. I gave him a 23. That's Pizza Hut. Captain Sparkles, good OG player. I'd say around George Not Found level, just because he wins back points in 1.8 combat. Skeppy is better than people give him credit for, but I don't think he's like as good as Tommy or Philza maybe. But yeah, he's pretty good in straight combat. Next, on to the old big boys. Vicstar is pretty good, but he lacks some like brain and movement. But he's pretty good at straight combat. Bayesian SG player, pretty good, and Wiffles I think was kind of always a little bit worse than a lot of these guys. And again, for the old big boys, like I like don't super know a lot about them, a lot of them, because I only watched a couple of them. But yeah, Sky does Minecraft. He's a good player. Uh, kind of. I don't know. He's one of the lower rankings, but yeah, I don't know. Popular MMO is a little worse than Sky. Jerome is the same as Bayesian, I'd say, around the same. Sunday was okay, and Dan TM I think is a little bit worse than Sunday. All right, let's go down. These are the casual PvPers. Again, I put big quotation marks because they probably take it pretty seriously. This is like Bed Wars players, like a lot of Hypixel games, things like that. And a lot of these like intersect. So a lot of the casual PvP players like used to be in the UHC community but aren't anymore. I also included like SG in this survival games if you aren't aware because that's like I don't know. It's it's like kind of a casual PvP game now. I don't know. It's debatable. Fruit Berries starting off really strong. He's insane. He's a really good player. His movement's really good. Brain's really good. I think he lacks a little bit of PvP skill though. He's underrated PvP, but just straight combat, he's not as good. But his brain and movement are really good. Tapple, really good at combat. Not the best movement, really smart. But I'd put him a little bit above Refraction, who's around the same PvP. And Wisp, I'd say, is around Fruitberry's level PvP, which is still very strong. And 11 is a good score, guys. Um, and then I gave him a 25.5, which is good. And then Speed Silver, I'd put higher than Wisp, lower than Tapple, lower than Fruitberries. He's a good player. He's been playing a lot of Skyblock, though, so he's lacking. Gamerboy80, I would say, is underrated. He's, like, really smart and really good at PvP. So, even though he's a Bed Wars player, he, like, pretends to be bad. He's really a very good player. Purpled is good, a little less than GB80. Sammy Green is better than Purpled, I'd say, just at, like, PvP, because he just PvP is better. Astelic is pretty good. I feel like she lacks some PvP skill though, like straight PvP, but is pretty big brain sometimes. Huawei is like good big brain, but his movement just like isn't very good. He like, yeah, I don't know. And his game sense is pretty good in SG, but I mean, it's really good in a lot of other things besides survival games. But I gave him a lower ranking just because like I've seen him any other game, he like doesn't do too well. Omicron is kind of like a solidly above average player, I'd just say. RKY is good. Gave him a 24. Good PvP, like nothing special though. Like I mean he's good, but like nothing insane. Bedless Noob is like I give him a really high movement score just because he's so good at bridging, and that's like I'd factor into movement. Uh, and then PvP is pretty good too. Intel edits, I don't know. Actually, you know what? I saw him fight Marcel recently, and he did insane. I think I got to give him a 14 and move him up to a 28. But I don't think he's super big brain or anything like that. Zyph, I don't like Zyph, I think he uses his brain. He like switches with his troll strats or whatever. I don't know. He does pretty well with those, I guess. He's not great though. Are You Madlol is good at PvP, but and pretty good. 24 is a strong score. Time Dio is better than Are You Madlol, I'd say. He's like good at PvP. A little worse than Fruitberries, I'd say. And pretty big brain. All right, on to the UHC community. Uh, this is just a selection of them. I know I'm missing a lot of UHC players, but these are the ones I chose. I feel like Ginger is really good, but Nestor beats him out a little bit on the combat front. Pikachu is also good, not as good as these two though. Scott A, I'd put it around the same level as Pikachu, and Apaxio maybe is pretty good now since he got on the leaderboards for UHC Hypixel, but is not as good as these guys. And just for reference, I'll scroll up here. This is where like the other UHC players did. So 27.5. Speed Silver is a little bit worse than Ginger, and Wisp at 25.5 is better than Apaxil, but he doesn't do much PvP anymore. Like he lost a Dream, which is kind of sad, but I don't know. A Dream's a good player, like in PvP, but I don't know. It's just okay. So here we have the practice PvP community. This is where it gets interesting. Some really high scores here because these guys are all really good. So starting it off with Marcel, his movement is really good. Like I saw him play in Minecraft Saturdays. Yeah, he's a good player. Uh, combat, I mean, he's just like the best, right? Can't really beat that. Movement, I saw him chaining 4 blocks in Minecraft Saturdays, and brain is really good, I'd say. Calvin is a little bit lower than that just because he net on movement and brain is the same, but with combat, I don't think he's quite as good. Painful is pretty good, not quite at their level. His combat's good, brain's good. Swampy is really good at combat, I'd say around Calvin level, but yeah, not quite good, that good. Advisor I feel like is not that good at anything besides practice. Gave him 23. Dante in his prime is insane. He had like massive brain, great PvP player. And then Moxie, again, this is in his prime. I'd give him a 26. Not quite as good as Dante, but he's still really good. Verse is a very good player. I wouldn't put her as high as like Calvin. I'd put her at a painful level because I'd say she's around that good, which is still very good. And then Tenebris at the same level as Verse. Avery's really good. I'd say he's like straight combat if like brain or movement wasn't a fact of it. I'd say he's like around Marcel level, and then he gets a 32 as well. So now, for what you guys have all been waiting for, I'm going to give a power ranking of the top 5 Minecraft PvP players of all time. And first, I had to go with Stinking Marcel. Now I'm going to explain myself a little bit more here. So, Marcel is an insane player. His movement is insane. He strafes at the exact same time that the other person takes a tick of damage. It's insane. He is an insane player. His brain is actually really good. I mean, he like doesn't do any casual PvP games like Skywars or Bed Wars, but he started playing recently and he dominates. Like the way he can like take up a game so quickly, he just has Minecraft game sense. Yeah, he's a great player. I think he 100% deserves that first spot. And Technoblade second. This is going to be controversial. All the sweats are going to hate me, and all the like Technoblade stands are going to say he deserves number 1. But I'm going to say he deserves number 2 because I think just his brain is crazy. His game sense is like actually mental, off the charts. Like nobody can beat him. And then Calvin has a great game sense. I'd say better than Avery, but a little bit worse at PvP than Avery. That's why I put him higher. And Fruitberries lacks PvP against some of these guys, but is still really, really good. I'd say, yeah. Movement insane. Like top 3 movement players, definitely, if not the best. And just really smart player. I mean, he does all these traps. Okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Leave a comment. Tell me what you thought. I might even change some of the rankings if you guys prove a good point. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like if you liked. And I will see you guys later. Thanks.